In 2005, I started a software business and built it to have over 4,000 customers in over 52 countries with 7 figures of revenue. So I know what it takes to achieve software and tech sales success. The reality is though, and I've bought lots of software in my time, and so many people get software sales really wrong. So I want to use this video to share with you how, if you do it right, and if you do it right, opportunities to earn are incredible. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 10 key points that if you put into practice can help you become a software and tech sales superstar. Let's have a look at the board and to find out the points that when you put in place are going to help you transform your career. Tech sales can be one of the fastest ways to build a 7-figure career if you do it correctly. If you learn how to sell software and tech in the right way, then you can achieve incredible results. And I had a software company which I started in 2005, and I used the models I'm going to share with you in today's video to go through how I got sales success. But many salespeople do it badly. They make so many mistakes and they think, why did it go wrong? Let's look at the video and find out what you're doing wrong that can stop you from winning software and tech deals. I'm going to show you the 10 points that make it happen. So selling software and tech is full of lots of challenges that you've got to overcome if you want to make the sale happen. There are so many parts of the process when you're dealing with skeptical buyers who are unsure and got uncertainty and see lots of different software vendors that all try and sell them the same thing. If you're new to this space, you can make the mistakes that so many people make. But in this video, we're going to talk about the things that you can put in place. If you ask the right questions at the right time and do the right actions, you're going to make that software sale easier, or you're going to save yourself huge amounts of time and not waste opportunities and chase up people that are never going to go anywhere. So I'm going to break down the key 10 strategies that you need to put in place. And when you master those elements, going to help you become a superstar when it comes to selling software and tech. Let's get into it. Point number 1 is this. You must understand where the buyer is in their journey and their process to look at this software. Some people make the mistake of thinking just because they maybe have a conversation with someone or someone asks for a demo, that's a guarantee they must be in, they must want to buy my product or service. The reality is no. Your job is to find out where the buyer is in the journey. Asking questions such as, tell me how long you've been looking for a different solution, or where are you in the process at the moment? How often, or how many other solutions are you evaluating? Or how long have you been looking at a solution for a system like this? Are great questions that you can ask to find out where the buyer is in the journey. It may well be that they are at that stage where they've been choosing between you and someone else, in which case, great, you can then find out and ask other questions. But it may well be that they're just right at the top of the funnel and just exploring different options. If you don't know where they are in the buyer journey process, you might end up going down the wrong path and talking to them about features and benefits when they're just not interested in that. So find out where that process is. It's critical in order to understand the first step to then know what to do next. So the second point is this. When I'm buying software, and when I know other people are buying software or other tech, the biggest thing they're thinking is this going to work? Is this really going to work for me? I'm different to other people. Is this software or is this system going to operate just because they say it will compared to other people? But we're a bit different. We're a bit unique. Is it really going to work for us? And they're skeptical. They have this skepticism that, I'm just not sure if this is going to happen. And, is this going to be a good fit? And, I'm not really element. So take that on board. One of the best ways you can handle that is to say, hey, we work with lots of people that are really unsure whether the software will work effectively for them. Let's have an open conversation around what some of those concerns are, or what some of the things that might make you a bit different to other people, so that we can give you some answers and maybe help you see if this is the right solution or not. The reality is, get inside the buyer's mind. They've got these skepticism and uncertainty and doubts about whether it's going to work for them. Don't ignore them. Amateur salespeople ignore them. They think, it'll be fine. Brilliant salespeople that make 7 figures go, no, I'm going to tap into that and really try and get to know what could be worrying the other side and make sure I ask the questions to find out what they're thinking to then know, yes, is it going to work? Brilliant. We know what's going to put in place to make that happen. Don't just assume. Assumptions make an arse out of you and umption. The point number 3 is this. When I had my software business and I sold online CRM software in 2005 through to 2018, I used to literally, for the first couple of years, have a demo script. I used to go through a script when someone says, can you show me your software? I'd go, no problems at all. And here's there. And then I learned that actually demo scripts are a waste of time. It's why I don't recommend you doing them. Have a framework for sure, but great salespeople don't just go into a mode of saying and presenting, this is feature X and this is this and this is this. They actually are savvy enough to understand and ask the question. There's lots of information I can share with you within the system. What are the areas in particular that would be most valuable for you? Or what particular parts of the system were you really interested in? And let me see if I can unpack those for you and show you as much information as you need. There's nothing worse than sat there having to go through a 45-minute presentation where someone's boring you to death. Great salespeople are self-aware and they're able to understand what might be happening, what's the buyer really looking for, to then be in a position to say, hey, no worries at all. I've got a demo that covers 4 or 5 areas. Let me focus on those 2 areas that are most valuable to you. The buyer's going to think, hey, this person understands me. They're going to get the information that they want in terms of how the product works or what it does. And more importantly, you can then ask other questions to say, what makes that so key for you? And how is that bit of software, how are you going to use that in the business? Or tell me what's made you ask that question, which enable you to get further into their mind to find out what they're looking for. Don't just focus on demo scripts. It's a terrible way to sell software. And most of the time, 80% of the time, people are going to be seeing stuff they're not interested in. And that's going to send them to sleep and turn them off you. Avoid it, have a framework, but don't just focus on scripts in total. The 4th point is this: resources and commitment. When you sell any piece of software, yes, your software is great at what it does, but if it don't have the resources and commitment from the other side to be able to know how they're going to implement that software and put time aside to make it a success, it's going to fail. And generally, when it fails, you as a salesperson are then going to find in 3 months later, and the software's been cancelled, that you are deducted that money from your commission. Ask the question to the buyer. Tell me a bit more about how you're going to implement this within your organization. Ask the questions around making sure that we say, what resources are you going to put in place here to ensure this is a success? Or how are you guys going to commit to ensuring that the software is used even when users maybe face some challenges? Because the reality is they're going to face challenges. I've not seen one software or tech product that's gone in seamlessly and everything's been okay from day one. There's going to be issues. There's going to be challenges. So your job is to spot what those are and make sure the other company has a commitment to providing effort and investment and people resource in order to make sure they overcome those bumps and get through to the other side. Ask them the question. And if they say, oh, I'm not sure about it, it should send warning signals to you that this could be a problem later down the line. Software and tech is not just about what you do, it's about the other side's commitment as well. Get them to confirm that in your conversations and demos, otherwise you could be onto a hide into nothing. So when I was selling software before, I was always focused on making sure I understood the 3 whys. The reality is, when you're selling software and tech, people generally have a solution right now because most software and most systems are going to be in addition to what they've already got. So the questions that you've got to be able to ask and find out are, how are they going to move from their current position? And that generally involves the 3 whys, I always believe. First one is, why should they buy? Why should that person buy? What is it this is going to give them? Why is their driver to make this? Is it a change in their business? Is it to solve a problem? Is it to solve a desire? Is it to help them achieve something? I don't know. But why do they have to buy? And you need to really understand that. The second why is, why should they buy from you? What is it about you and your system or software or company that makes that buyer want to buy from you specifically? And the third question is, why should they buy now? The reality is, how are you going to move them to a decision from that point where they're thinking, I don't need this, to be, no, we need to do this. And the reality is, if you ask those 3 questions, why should they buy from you, and why should they buy now? But remember, don't say and ask that question away, because if you ask the word why to someone, it can be accusatory. What's making you want to look at this right now? How would it feel to be in the same position in 3 months' time? What is it about our solution that you find really interesting? Find out those questions and make sure you really know what's driving them. And it's going to help you then be in a position to make sure, are they really serious about going forward with this, or are they just contemplating whether this is a good option for them or not and looking at other solutions? Find out the 3 whys, find out what they're doing at the moment without your system or software or tech in place. And that's going to be a big reason to understand how they're going to change from where they are right now to where you want them to be in the future. So point number 6 is this. And one of the biggest mistakes I've seen in recent times was a software solution that was put in place by a leadership team who didn't involve the users and the people that were using the system day to day. And I have first-hand experience of talking to someone who literally said, I couldn't use the software and no one else in our department could. And basically what had happened, they were a branch of an organization who had this software enforced on them. And the reality is the whole branch, around 30 different branches, said, no, we don't want to use this software. We can't use it. It was slowing them down. It was getting in the way of things. And the management team had to remove the software at a cost of thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. So the reality is this: how to involve users in the process. And then it might feel difficult because they're not the people that make the decisions. But what will certainly happen if you're not careful, if you don't involve the users in your software who are going to use it day to day, those people then start to dislike what you're doing, and it's going to create huge problems, which might then involve that piece of software or tech gets removed. Ask the question to the people you're working with: who's going to use this software or system within the business? How can we get them involved in the process so they can start to feel and see what it looks like? How can we build a team of champions who can be involved in seeing what we do and then share it with other colleagues? Because if you can get that team of people involved, they're going to be out there within the branches or in the different teams talking about how great the software is, and having that local champion is going to be a massive help to you. So don't just involve decision makers. Of course, you want to get the senior execs or the people who are going to say yes, especially if it's a big piece of software. But the reality is, involve other people in the process. The people that are influencing and doing the work and using it day to day are critical. And if you don't involve them, you could find out you do a deal and then it comes to bite you on the arse in a couple of months' time. So point 7 is a simple one. And I'm afraid I've seen so many people do this. I have a data software company who did this to me, who I will now, and I'll tell you who it is actually, ZoomInfo. ZoomInfo lied to me about what their software could do. And guess what happened? Not only did I leave the company a few months later, but I also now tell other people, sorry, I don't recommend them as a company to work with. And the reason being because the guy told me something that then proved to be untrue. Lies equal churn. You might think, and people say, oh, salespeople just manipulate the truth a little bit. Sure, you can push the boundaries of things, but outright lies, I'm afraid that's going to cost you. Don't lie. You're better off to understand what's driving the person to ask the question. Most of the time, it's because they're worried about something. There's a concern, and you can overcome the objection by saying, hey, what makes that so critical for you? And how important is it for you to put that in place? And what would happen if we weren't able to put that in place? How would that affect your decision? And some people might say it's critical, and some people might say, well, it'd be a nice to have. The reality is, if you lie, then all your truths become unimaginable. And that's what happened with me with ZoomInfo, and that's why I don't recommend them now. The salesperson lied to me, and it might mean the reason I left afterwards. So if you want to do sales software and sell software and tech, understand that your lies are going to come and bite you. Don't do it. It's going to cause churn. It's going to cause problems. And other departments of your company are going to find you a pain in the backside because they've spent time bringing people on board who then leave afterwards. Take the decisions early to understand what's driving the customer to make the decisions that they are. That's going to help you avoid the problems and avoid the churn that comes from the lying. So point number 8, QSR as I call it. That stands for questions, signals, and responses. Very good salespeople know that they're going to ask great questions, open questions around the what and the how and the who and the when, to be able to really find out what's driving the whole process for the purchase to be made. But what they're also going to be really good at is also looking at the body language and the signals that other people are giving off. Are they seeing sort of signs that, make them go, oh, am I going to put a link, for example, to my body language video, which can share with you things to look out for? Signals that make you think, oh, the other person's got a doubt or worry about something. Or maybe that sign where they're looking and thinking, this is curious. It could be good for us. We've got to be able to spot the signals and then react accordingly. Great salespeople are self-aware. They're able to see what's happening and then go, I think I know what's going on here, and therefore be able to react and offer the right response or question or point of view at the time. They're able to spot whether someone's maybe tuning out of a demo part that they're doing to be able to think, hey, maybe this sounds like an area that's not relevant for you. Or they'll be able to spot maybe someone's excitement about a certain feature and say, hey, it sounds like or looks like this could be an area that's really key for you. Tell me more. They're able to ask the right questions, to read the right signals, and then be able to respond in the right way. So become QSR successful and able. If you can do this and spot what's going on, and body language and body signals are critical to great sales success, not just in software, but anywhere, you're going to make that deal happen more quickly than you think. So point number 9, arrow to arrow to arrow. What am I on about here? Here's the simple thing. People don't buy the software. They're buying the outcome that it gives them. And one of the things that I see on a regular basis is that software people just think that people are going to buy software for software's sake. Not the case. There's always a reason that leads to another reason, which leads to another reason as to why someone does something. So let's just say, for example, that you're selling, I don't know, a piece of HR software. The reason someone's buying the software is so they can get better control of their employees, which enables them to make sure that they're seeing who's actually in the office at the right time, which enables them to be more productive, which enables them to achieve more resources. There's always a next stage in the outcome. And our job as salespeople is to tap into that. We've got to ask the right questions and find out no one wants to buy software or tech for the sake of it. They're doing it for a reason. And you have to dig in generally 1 or 2 or 3 times to find the outcome of the outcome of the outcome. Clever salespeople do that. They're able to say and ask the right question. They're able to point and think, how does this lead to? What implications is it going to have? What key metrics is this going to affect in the business or the company? And once they start to know that, they can then see feedback back in and make sure that their demo or their position or their pitch covers those key points to address the issues that people are wanting to. So don't just think they're buying your stuff for the sake of it. They're not. I don't think anyone that wants to buy software for software's sake. There's a reason why they're doing it. Your job's to find it out. And the final point is this. How do you make them become sticky? How do you make the customer love your software so much that not only are they able to then use it and get the value from it that they wanted and were promised, but more importantly, and this is the trick and skill for you as a salesperson, they become a referral. They become someone that then tells everyone else, do you know what? I worked with Paul. He was amazing. He was able to help us get something set up. We solved our problem. I'm really recommending him as a company to work with. He's a great piece of software that's helped us achieve our goals. Not only can you get Paul to maybe do a testimonial or a video or a quote, but guess what? Paul's then going to be able to talk to other people. He's then going to refer you and recommend you. That business is coming your way because you've made it sticky. You've onboarded them properly. When you just pass them over and chuck them over the side into customer services and don't tell the team what they were looking to achieve and what their goals were, it means that team's got to find out, and it makes it difficult for the customer because they've got to explain things twice. Understand your job isn't finished just when the systems may be implemented. Get it sticky, deliver on what you promised and said you would for the customer. And it's going to, once they get sticky and makes them feel that it's adding value to their business, they're going to be a referral for you and they're going to be a testimonial for you. And that will make a massive difference in helping turn those potential deals into real deals. So the reality is this, selling software and tech is easy if you do it correctly. I've made a brilliant career and I've earned 7 figures over my last 10 to 15 years on a consistent basis by knowing how to spot when people want the right thing at the right time. And I want you to do the same thing. So follow these 10 steps and the ball's in your court. You're going to be able to achieve great success and sell your software in the way you want it to. But if you ignore these things, good luck. You might be looking for another job soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please like and tell other people about it. If you're selling software and you want to think, hey, I need a bit more help, reach out to me. Put a comment in the section below, reach out to me on any of my social channels. I'll help you where I can. I sold tech and software for a long time. I ran my own business and exited it. I know what it takes to do. But if you want to be in a position where you get the numbers you hit and get to a 7-figure blueprint and salary to help you achieve your life goals and dreams, put these elements in place. Until next week, I'll see you soon. But if you have liked the video, like and subscribe and hit that alert button to make sure every new video gets into your inbox.